What's up, sad boys? How are we doing? I, Grease and Todd, am a sucker for early 2000s metalcore. I'm also a sucker for theming. So when the first zombie EP by the Devil Wears Prada came out in 2010, I was here for it. So when I heard the Devil Wears Prada was following up that zombie EP with a sequel, of course, you know, I'm gonna have to give it a listen to. And what better way to listen to it than to compare it directly with the first one? Let's go song v song to find out which album has the ultimate zombie theming. And we'll start with our number one song, Escape. This first song does not let up for a fucking second. This song is about escaping. We know that there is a zombie threat. We know that these beasts may be clumsy, but their mass numbers make up for those slow speeds. No time to scream, no time to cry, no time to think about the people around. You gotta get out. And this song does a really good job of integrating that pounding desperation through the instrumentals. If you watch my video on Plagues versus A Day to Remembers, for those who have heart, I love the guitaring, the instrumentals, everything works for me on every level except for their lyrics. Their thematic Christian tendencies don't stick with me whatsoever, and I find it kind of cringy. But zombies, now that's something I can get behind. And 10 years later, let's see if the Devil Wears Prada still has it. This EP seems to be picking up years into the zombie apocalypse. Has the same amount of time passed in the zombie world as has passed in the real world between these two albums. They've been living through this apocalypse, and this is like us, the audience, checking in on their journey. And things have changed a little. The last album I thoroughly enjoyed from the Devil Wears Prada was Dead Throne. Once we start getting into 818 and Transient Blues, that's when I start to push back a little. So on a certain level, I was enthusiastically looking forward to this EP because it's sort of a return to form. Grabbing that metalcore energy that they used to have and fusing it with their newer, more heavier rock metal influences. But that also has a drawback where it doesn't feel as unique as the first song. A little more chugging here. The vocals don't really work as well for me, and it's missing that like sporadic intensity. Plus, Escape just sets the mood right with the gunshot. The oh my god really brings the themes to the forefront, where I feel like you could listen to Nightfall and not really get the idea of zombies. I will have to give our first spot to Escape. Anatomy continues right where Escape left off. We start that chainsaw up and we get right into describing the horrific state of the human body. The song is really, really good at painting that vivid imagery of what you're physically experiencing, what you're physically seeing, and what happens to you as this disease takes over. With contamination comes fever, the disease is at its worst, teeth missing, beyond repair, fragile flesh, falling away. Ugh, scary, gross, and the music itself just creates that like intensity. I think Anatomy is a very strong follow-up. Let's see if I can say the same for Forlorn. This album feels like it's missing a little bit of the creativity that the first one did. This one has us checking in with our heroes and sort of getting an idea of where they were and how they got to this point. At the time of the onset, humanity mismanaged the gravity of the virus. I wonder how they got the inspiration to write another zombie EP in the year 2021. It's a very slow down chorus. While I like the vocal performance, it just brings the song to such a dead stop that it kills the heavy momentum that the song starts out with. There's so much more chugging. I find myself to this song just like da 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 da. I don't want to count Z2 out yet, but thus far I feel like the first Zombie EP is just pulling out the better performance, and that's not gonna stop with Outnumbered. I would be lying if I said Outnumbered wasn't one of my absolute favorite Devil Wears Prada songs. The way they integrate the vocals and the screaming, da 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 da, probably one of the hardest fucking riffs the Devil Wears Prada has ever done. I love the production on this song. I love how they put the sirens in there and when the breakdowns, population converted one by one. Oh. So we've escaped the danger, we've learned about the threat, and now we're trying to survive. We're trying to build our resources in the face of overwhelming odds. The music just pushes this feeling of desperation forward, which is gonna make it a very hard battle for termination. This is our first genuine contender from Zombie Part 2 or Zombie EP2, whatever the fuck the official title is, or Z2 for my friends across the... This one's heavy. It has the instrumental, emotional intensity that I would want from a Devil Wears Prada zombie theme song. It feels a little bit like they're shoving in zombie imagery into songs rather than organically trying to think of zombie inspired music. Termination is probably the best one thus far. It's just unfortunate that it's going against one of the greatest Devil Wears Prada songs to ever be written. As far as the Devil Wears Prada singing courses go, I really like what they do with this one, but it did not move past me that they shoved in their biblical bullshit. Whomever finds himself too proper will be the first to perish. Proper to whom? Go off, king. Eat the fucking rich, you know? And if Nora can just deliver a solid song, then hopefully we can get our first Zombie 2 song on our playlist. And wouldn't you know it, Nora pulled through for us. Now, who is Nora? What is she supposed to represent? I'm not entirely sure. What I'm gathering is Nora is a person that they met on the road, a person that they met on their travels, trying to hide, trying to flee. Maybe she's on her own, her family's been gone for years, her home burned to the ground. I love in this song how they break down just all the little human conditions. It sort of feels like Anatomy in that way. Blistered and bruised, fighting for every step, tight lungs, short breaths, weak knees, tired eyes, determination in a lowly disguise. They're painting a very clear picture of who this individual is. And I find that the Devil Wears Prada works better when they're focusing on the micro. It's when the Devil Wears Prada tries to go outside of themselves. They try to comment on the world as a whole that I find that they're usually lacking. Nora did hit me much better than Revive did, and I think it completely deserves a part on our playlist. And now we've come to our final mashup, Zombie 2's last chance to get on our playlist. It's going up against Survivor. This first EP seems to have so much more thematically going on within the instrumentals. I find that the parts here just elevate the zombie feeling so much more than the newer EP. He's speaking about solitude, about how the cornfields haunt him, and the piano is just slowly drowning him out. Like these thoughts he has every day, but you have to drown them out in order to survive, in order to fight off the zombie attack. I like that this song takes a more personal approach. It's about one person's experience living alone, trying to survive, being tortured by the solitude. It just paints a vivid picture. I will say, though, the chorus, the singing part in this, doesn't really hit on that grand scale that I think they were trying to get to. Does Contagion end its 20-minute and 5-song run better than the first Zombie EP? I'm gonna play this little sucker. This definitely does end the album on a very strong note. Throughout this entire album, I've really appreciated how each line actually does rhyme and kind of lead into the next one. Solidified conclusion, permanence, no solution. It just works really well with his screaming style. So it took a little while for this song to kick in. I think it was like a minute-long introduction. But once the screaming kicks in, I really enjoy this. It feels like a more solid conclusion than Survive. And this is what we've come to. So what I can say, what I will take away from this is that the first Zombie EP starts out a lot stronger, and I feel like the theming is represented a lot better in these 3 songs. But Zombie 2 finishes a lot stronger. I think these last 2 songs work much better than the last 2 songs on the first Zombie EP. This is my final selection. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What songs would you have chose? What songs would you have not chosen? I'm Grayson Todd. Stay swazzy, stay posy, listen to some good shit, and I will talk to you later. Toodles.